Hi everybody, welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles. This is my tag team partner Sam Moo.
Viano number 4 was taken.
It was.
Gary Rhodes, everybody. Hashtag $1 million player.
Abraham's not here anymore.
What the hell happened to your hair?
Well, as you know, I took a trip down to Rio de Janeiro to compete in a tournament. And in the finals of the tournament, it was the masked tweeter versus me. George.
I thought you were doing the DDP.
I almost did. And the tweeter beat me in the hair versus mask match. As you can see, the hair's growing back a little bit more. But tweeter, you got me. Next time, 2 out of 3 falls.
Oh my goodness. It was like sitting next to Arn Anderson over here.
There's no horseshoe. At least I don't look like I got Shawn Michaels hair.
That's... Anyways, folks.
Right below the belt.
So we were going to talk about SummerSlam and Raw together on this paper, or on this show today.
And well, WWE in general.
Yeah.
But the first thing we want to talk about is the YouTube pre-show. Santino lost the belt to Antonio Cesaro, one of my favorite wrestlers, one of my guys that I think is going to come up and make a big impression. This is first step. The U.S. title is a building block title to bigger things in the WWE, kind of like the Intercontinental title. I think the kid, it was great to put it on the kid. He's going to do wonders for the title. He builds more believability. Plus,
he's making the title a legit title again, because if you look at the two, okay, you had Santino, then you've had Swagger, and then who?
Ziggler. Ziggler.
Broski. Yeah, whatever his name is. You know, you've had Ryder. You've had 3 clowns hold it. Now you got a guy that's a legitimate wrestler.
Yes.
I like and a lot of people are kind of tired of the 5 languages thing. I kind of like it. They add something different to the show.
It's a little bit different.
It gives a little class and civility to these folks.
And, I kind of like the pairing with Oksana. She makes him a little bit. It's kind of like Triple H with Sable back in the day.
Well, yeah. Well, they finally found something for her to do, except for being Teddy Long's girlfriend, fiance, whatever, and Goldust's fiance. At least she's not marrying this guy.
Not yet, that we know of. And
next SummerSlam, match made in heaven and hell.
Oh my God! Why recycle that shit? They should have did it with AJ Lee and Brian.
They should have. He did come out with the whole Savage.
Yeah. But he didn't have the hat with the feather. Fucked it all up, man.
You're missing the pimp show, baby.
Then we go right into the main show of SummerSlam. Started off hot. Dolph Ziggler versus Chris Jericho, Y2J.
Awesome match.
Great show opener. Got the fans into it. Got the crowd hyped up.
Jericho went over the first match. Made him look like $1 million, though. Because if you can, go toe-to-toe with Jericho in a ring, you're somebody. And they really made him look like somebody those 2 days in a row.
And ultimately, wins and losses don't really matter.
Not a guy in Jericho standings, no.
No, I think he came over. Ziggler came over good, both on that. And then kudos to Chris Jericho. You put the kid over as you were leaving. Who knows how long he's going to leave this time? But he put Ziggler over clean on Monday Night Raw. That is why I think for this week, in retrospect of his whole career, if this is the last time we see Chris Jericho, I think he should be the heel of the week.
I agree with you, heel of the week on that one. And the thing is, I hope it's not his last match. A guy like Jericho had one of the best careers in professional wrestling.
Yes.
The only guy that can ever say he's beaten Stone Cold and The Rock in one night. Honestly, one of the only guys that can say he actually beat them both, too.
If you look down his matches, it's a list of who's who in wrestling the last 20 years. He's faced everybody from Shawn to Rock to Austin, Benoit, Angle.
Malenko, he could take it, he made Malenko look great in WCW back in the day.
And, and he's solid career, one of the best careers of the guys that came out of his generation. Probably of his generation, second only to Triple H's career.
I would say that, because, Trips was about 10 years shy of Shawn's career.
Yeah, and Triple H and him came after Austin. Probably, if Rock would have stayed, he would have eclipsed them both, but Rock went on to make movies. But we're getting a little bit off the topic with that. Another thing that went into that, Yeah, some other good matches. Kane versus Bryan was a solid match on the pay-per-view. Then you had the heavyweight title match: Sheamus versus Alberto Del Rio.
It was a snooze fest to me, man. I mean, there was a few good spots in it, but your character is supposed to be this tough, hard as nails, bad son of a bitch that's not afraid to fight, and ends up, taking his foot off the rope to get the cheap win.
He cheated twice in the match, and
and trust me, I don't mind someone cheating, but don't sit there and try to be a Boy Scout.
And it went over like a lead bullet on the freaking show. Everybody was booing. The fans didn't know what happened, if it was a legitimate ref screw up or if it was part of the show.
Honestly, if I was in the crowd and that was a match I was looking forward to see, which it probably wouldn't have been, I'd have been pissed. I'm not gonna lie.
Kind of like Sheamus versus Bryan WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I was so pissed.
Yeah.
I mean, we sat there, we were like, man, this guy's popped over. I mean, we got there at 8 o'clock in the morning at Mania, and it was yes, all through the arena.
Right, and then they shit on it. And I'm not shitting on Sheamus or Del Rio, either one of them. I think they're both pretty solid. I don't think they should be the highlight of the show. I think they're good mid-carders. I really do.
Yeah, like I said,
and then you go on to Raw, and they added Orton into the mix now. He's back up. I guess he's out of the fucking doghouse after his drug suspension. And, again, do we want to see Sheamus versus Orton again? Do we want to see Orton versus Del Rio? I mean, you got other guys. Ziggler's got the money in the bank. Let him cash in. Daniel Bryan's more over than anybody, I think, on the show.
He's more over than Punk. He's more over than Cena.
He's the most over wrestler.
When he gets in the fans' face with that whole no chant, it's like, holy crap, this guy is over.
And it's insane how over he gets. He's like Stone Cold. Anything he says, the fans will respond to.
Mm-hmm. This is a guy that couldn't talk.
No, this is the biggest knock on him coming in there is, can he talk? Because everybody knows he's a great wrestler. He's one of the best wrestlers there is. This Daniel Bryan is Bret Hart with a Shawn Michaels attitude.
Mm-hmm. And with a lot of Benoit skill too. I mean,
Well, I mean, he's like the perfect. If you were to make a perfect wrestler, except for size-wise, he's a little bit small, but he's got everything you would want in a wrestler. He could
so Kevin Nash wouldn't like him as a world champion. Anyway, sorry.
But Daniel Bryan. I mean, he's been excellent. I've always been a fan of his, and he's one of the best talkers in the game now, being as that was his weakness. I think that's awesome that he's worked on it. And he's got to the point where I think he's the most over person in any wrestling business in America.
Oh yeah, I mean,
even the world.
Even when we go to the pay-per-views and stuff like that, I mean, like I said, when we were at Mania, it was like, holy crap, this dude is way over me. Because, I mean, you had this one dude that was running around Mania with his starting a yes chant all through the crowd since 10 o'clock in the morning.
Right, and he's someone that should be in that world title picture. He is a former world champion. You got Mark Henry's coming back soon. I think he should be up in there too. I like the matchups with Mark Henry versus Del Rio, Mark Henry versus Sheamus better than them two.
Like I said, I'm not a Mark Henry fan.
But I like his character. He
needs a talk. He needs a mouthpiece. He is this generation's Vader without a lot of the talent Vader had.
I mean, I like.
He needs a Harley race.
I think he's good, man, and I think he's a solid monster. Which they've tried to make show off again, on again a monster, and they've shit on it.
Well, he's getting cheered at yesterday's show because he was with Otunga.
And then you got the semi-main event, which should have been the main event, but we understand why because you had Triple H versus Brock. But the semi-main event of Punk versus...
Wasn't in that match. Why was that main event? Oh, never mind.
You had Punk versus Show versus Cena for the WWE title. Came out, Show looked like $1 million.
Best I've seen him. Best I've seen him in a while.
In a long, long time. Cena, I'll give Cena his due. When he's in there with somebody that could go with him, Edge, Jericho, Punk, even Undertaker.
Well, his deal is he doesn't want to be outshined.
No, and he looked like $1 million. CM Punk looked like $1 million, even with the Bret Hart tribute shorts and kick pads. But
I thought that match had the best ending though.
I loved it. The ending was tremendous. It was so smart because it shows how much smarter CM Punk is.
Oh yeah, and it was just so like the look on some of the Cena fans' face was just precious.
Yeah.
Because they all of a sudden Cena hits the FU.
Precious like the movie.
Yeah, the fat girl, and he hits the FU, and then just gets pushed out of the way, and you see the little girls and little kids' faces just turn to tears, and Punk just grabs that win. Loved it. I'm sorry. That's what a heel does.
It was tremendous, and it really wasn't a heel move. It was just a smart move.
Yeah, but it's against Cena, so it's a heel move, of course.
In a great match.
He turned his back on the WWE.
It was a great match. I liked how it built. Again, Survivor Series.
Survivor Series, I think you're about 3 months too early.
SummerSlam was a good card from top to bottom, good matches from top to bottom for the most part. There was some.
You got your stinkers, you got your primetime players, which we're not even going to talk about that.
And then you led from that match into the main event, which has been getting mixed reviews all over the internet. Triple H versus Brock Lesnar. Personally, I liked the match. It's not your typical Triple H match. It's now with the two matches we've seen since he's became back, it's a typical Brock match now. But it was good. It was hard hitting. I thought Triple H told an amazing story throughout the match. I think he's one of the best. He does more in the ring story wise. He tells a better story in the ring than I think almost anybody.
I thought it was a decent match. I wouldn't say it was one of the greatest matches, of course.
No, it's not one of the greatest matches.
Here's my things with it. He kept going for the
Kimura.
The Kimura from the beginning. Now to show you how strong Triple H was, I mean Brock's got his Kimura locked on with Triple H holding him up, which holding a dude that's 300 pounds up of live weight is freaking impressive, and especially the way he was doing it, instead of just dropping like a little kid.
I wonder who pissed in his cup.
I don't know.
Wasn't Kofi.
It wasn't Evan Bourne.
Might have been Kofi. Kofi's drug free.
Punk did it. Punk's bladder's probably weak from all the piss tests from everybody else.
Yeah. Which, and a lot of people didn't like the match. I personally liked it. You were lukewarm on it. I thought it was good. I thought it was a decent match. The thing of it is that now they're turning into Triple H was sticking up for the WWE, and it's going to build to supposedly a rematch at Survivor Series. That's why I was thinking Survivor Series.
Yeah, I could be that.
But here's my thinking. Instead of Triple H, why not Brock versus Undertaker? If someone's going to defend the WWE, shouldn't it be the flagship, the Undertaker?
I'll give you that one. Plus, with his contract, he has to show up at least 4 times a year. So I would say that would be one of his appearances. He did the Kane appearance at the 1000th episode. He did last WrestleMania this year. So I think he has this one and one more. I think he has at least 3 or 4 appearances, which could lead up to a match against Brock.
And speaking of Taker, our question of the week last week was, who do you think should end the Undertaker streak? Now, a lot of people said no one. The consensus, the top answer was no one. I'm going to read some of the answers we had that gave somebody. The first one's from our friend Lou over at the Deadly Sins. Okay. And he put, as odd as this might be, how about Ryback? He is still undefeated, and it seems like he'll stay that way for the time being. It would be like when Goldberg beat Hall and Hogan in the same night to become undefeated champion. Up until 2 weeks ago, I would have thrown that out altogether. But the way Ryback's been getting over as of late, he's a legitimate threat to the streak. Yeah. I really think so, and that's a tremendous answer. It's not something I would have even thought about.
Well, whatever gimmick the kid is in, the guy that plays Ryback, I don't know his real name.
Skip Sheffield, whatever his name. Yeah. Ryan Reeves.
Ryan Reeves. But when he was Skip Sheffield, he was into that character.
Yeah.
When he turned heel with Nexus, he was into that character. Yep. You didn't really think anything different of the guy. You know what I'm saying? You didn't know, this guy's just a poser. When he was Skip Sheffield, what was his saying?
Yup. What did it do?
He went with it. He's just one of the guys that say, oh, here's your gimmick. This is what we want you to do.
Yeah.
And he does it.
It's a tremendous answer. I really liked it. Now, we have another answer from our friend the Mass Tweeter, the guy that I lost the hair to.
Sorry, Commissioner.
Yeah,
Commissioner Foley, everybody.
And he put, unfortunately, I don't see anyone.
Commissioner Foley.
I don't see anyone beating Undertaker's streak anytime soon. I think they will drag it out as long as possible. It's a great bonus sell for Mania. Having said that, whoever does finally beat him has to be the last person you would expect, a la Heath Slater, Ziggler, or anyone who isn't a veteran. Heath Slater, I don't see them doing that personally. They could. Heath is getting over again, another guy I didn't see getting over, but he's starting to get over. Ziggler is a solid, again, on the lawns of Ryback. I think Ziggler's got to be one of the top answers to win it from him. Personally, I like Ziggler. I like his chances better than Slater. Who would you think, GR?
I was going to ask you first.
You want to ask me?
Yeah, I'm going to turn it around and ask you. Who do you think?
I've given it a lot of thought, and I've gone back and forth in my own brain on this. And to me, it has to be someone that needs that extra jump. It's not, someone like CM Punk doesn't need to beat The Undertaker. Someone like Cena doesn't need to beat The Undertaker. We need someone that just can't break the glass ceiling. My answer, it's totally off the wall, and it's going to probably throw you off. Kofi Kingston. A Kofi Kingston heel turn and beating The Undertaker to cement him as a main event wrestler.
So I'm still tied up with two guys. I really don't know which one I would like to see better. One would be Ziggler, like the tweeter said, and the other one's D. Bryan. Could you imagine?
I don't think Bryan needs it.
He doesn't need it, but he's a young guy, and honestly, Jericho didn't need to beat The Rock and Austin together one night. That's bragging rights that this guy will have the rest of his career. As I beat the Taker at WrestleMania, I ended the streak. Could you imagine? Okay, as much as he talks, how much we would never hear the end of how he's beaten The Undertaker at the streak.
Tremendous answers. I would say him, Ziggler, Ryback have to be three of the favorites if they're thinking about.
I like your Kofi idea. That's really. I've been trying to get it from him all week, and he finally said it. That's why I was like, no, you answer first.
Well,
I figured he was going to say Paul Heyman. Throw his cell phone in there.
I really think Kofi has. I think Kofi has a ton of talent that's been untapped. I think he's going to end up being another Shelton Benjamin where it doesn't ever get tapped into fully.
I think if he turns heel, I think he'll be a great heel. I think, right now he's like a steamboat. He's over. He's one of the over mid-card guys. There's no NWA to go to get your world title.
Right.
Like Ricky Steamboat did. I think that right now he needs to turn heel, or he's just going to be one-sided. You'll never be the greatest in the world at what you do, CM Punk, unless you work both sides. Well, whatever. Unless you work both sides of the spectrum, you got to be the babyface and the heel to get that title.
And that. Thanks for all the answers and responses. Our question of the week for this week is: if you could book any dream match, anyone in their prime, any style match, any 2 participants, 4 participants,
hell, even whatever pay-per-view you wanted to be at, whatever.
Exactly. Who would it be? Hit us up on our Facebook, hit us up on Twitter, put it in the comments down on the bottom of the video. Let us know who you think. We'll talk about it on the show. We'll tell you what we think. Spoiler alert, it's probably going to be someone against Pillman for me because I'm a huge Pillman mark. But the dream match is, who would you want to see in a dream match?
I don't know who mine would be. Unless it's Barry Horowitz.
Right.
Whoever versus Barry Horowitz.
And with the stuff we haven't really touched, Raw again, they're hit and miss so far with this 3-hour format. There have been a couple that have been really good. This was another one that's been really boring and drug along. You fell asleep during the show.
I fell asleep. I missed the last 45 minutes of the show.
And had to rewatch it today because it's just that boring. The only highlights I would say, Daniel Bryan was a highlight. The Y2J thing was a highlight. Heyman's promo in the beginning was tremendous.
Well, that was the high point of the evening right there. That and Jericho
leaving.
In fact, Jericho touched me so much leaving, I changed my ringtone on my phone to Jericho's theme this week. It's true.
Did he touch you like Jerry Sandusky used to?
No, I never went to the camp. I couldn't afford it.
Yeah. Well, you didn't have to go to the camp. You just went to the shower. But anyway.
Well, I never liked that either.
But then you got
dirty white boy.
Then the other thing that stuck out, other than it being a boring as shit Raw, CM Punk, John Cena, Jerry Lawler segment at the end. I thought CM Punk came off a little bit less, but John Cena came off tremendous. I think it's one of the best promos he's ever cut. It had more passion than I've seen in him in a long, long time. And CM Punk, CM Punk. He doesn't have to do much to stay.
It was you're right there. It was one of Cena's best promos. And you know why I think it is? I honestly think that he's probably scared of his spot right now.
Yeah.
You got a guy that's already close to ending your streak. Well, your winning streak.
exactly. You got that, and then to add the Jerry the King Lawler thing in there with the kick at the end, which is a heel move, more cementing the CM Punk slow heel turn.
Apologize. Jerry.
He did, but he didn't say it was the best in the world.
He didn't mean it.
But and I think it was a tremendous opener, tremendous closer, a good match with Jericho, Daniel Bryan, the tag match with Bryan and Miz and Kane and Ryder, great match.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Everything else was pretty much boring as shit.
Before we close, we saw a superhero at SummerSlam too.
Fat Man?
Exactly. Fat Man and Nobbin. Because, geez, why would you wear a big old suit like that with an airbrush? I'm sorry, Rey Mysterio, but called you out on that one.
Yeah, Ray. You got to get in the competitive eating contest with our boy Paul. He'll mop the floor with you.
Them Twinkies ain't no joke.
Him and Natter, they'll both tear your ass up, but get into the contest because you're getting fat enough to compete with them. But anyway, that's about all we got for the show this week. I'm George Coles.
Gary Rhodes.
And this has been the WWE portion of our Heel Heat show.